In 1906, Alfred Henry Lewis stated that there are only 9 meals between mankind and anarchy. And since then, that observation has been echoed by many. Today, we're going to explore that topic. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time with us, my name is Justin. So today we're going to talk about mankind being 9 meals away from anarchy. We'll explain what that means. It's a difficult subject to breach. It's a serious subject, but in true SafePrep fashion, we're going to try to add some humor and sarcasm to it. So stay tuned for that. So how do you unlock your freedom? With an anarchy. So be sure you stick around to the end of the video where we're going to ask you some really serious questions about what you would do if society ran out of food or enough food. The pathway between food-related issues such as crop failure, price hikes, inflation, and anarchy and riots is complex. So let's have a closer look at the actual food distribution industry and compare it to some present day economics and see whether there might be reason for concern at all. The food industry typically operates on very small margins, and they call these just-in-time margins. And these are often below 2%. And traditionally, wholesalers and retailers have relied on a 2-week turnaround of supply and anywhere up to a 30-day payment plan. But an increasing tightening of the economic system over the last, let's say, decade has resulted in a turnaround time of just 3 days for both supply and payment for many in the industry. And what that means is your grocery stores have a 3-day supply of groceries. Nothing beyond that. This is a system that is still fully in operation, but with no wiggle room at all should there be a disaster or event. So say there was a month where significant inflation took place. Say 3%, we'll call that significant. All profits would be lost for that month for both the suppliers and the retailers, but goods could still be replaced and sold for a higher price the following month. But if there were 3 or more consecutive months of inflation, which we might see here this summer, the industry would be unable to bridge the gap even if better conditions were to develop in future months, which will probably happen as well. A failure to pay in full for several months would mean smaller orders by those who could not pay. So what's on the shelf, the stock starts to go down. So what type of mint do anarchists hate? Government. So the longer the inflationary trend continues, the more quickly prices would rise to hopefully offset the inflation. I don't know if we hope prices rise, but that's what's fixing to happen. And this is just the way this system works. Store closings would be felt most immediately inside inner cities, when one closing would send customers to the next neighborhood seeking food. The real danger would come when that second store also runs out of food, and you got people from those 2 stores going to a third neighborhood to get their food. And that's when 1 loaf of bread for every 3 customers would become worth killing over. I doubt that anyone would be able to tolerate or accept seeing their children go without food because others had come in from other areas to get that food. Now, bringing this back to the pandemic this past year, when the shelves started to run empty of those supplies, whether it was food, toilet paper, I know where I live, we had people coming from outside areas into the stores in our area that were better stocked. So we know that that happens. Now, let's bring it back to present day. Why does this matter now? Recent food price increases may be part of a perfect storm along with environmental disasters, population growth, resource scarcity, urbanization, and civil and social unrest. So due to manufacturing slowdowns during the pandemic, we also saw how these issues affect the supply chain. The Fed has also warned in recent weeks of coming inflation over the next few months, and food prices, according to our own government, are forecasted to increase 3 to 5% in 2021. 3 to 5%. We can handle that, right? Not a big deal. It is a big deal. Some research suggests that for every 1% increase in the cost of food, that plunges 16 million people below the poverty line. And that's for each 1%. I find it interesting that many of us in the U.S. feel that our political and constitutional rights are slowly being eroded. That is also an ingredient that increases the likelihood of civil or social unrest if there's an interruption in the food supply. All right, got time for one more. So why are dogs so good at finding anarchists? Because they're good at tracking dissent. Now, none of the things that we've talked about are speculation. So civil and social unrest, if you want to call it anarchy, is a historical pattern, a reaction based on human nature whenever systemic inflation occurs. The Fed has told us that inflation is coming over the next several months. The federal government has told us that food prices are going to increase anywhere between 3 and 5%, which may plunge more below the poverty line. Does that mean I think we're going to run out of food this summer and the shit's going to hit the fan? Absolutely not. Preppers and those into preparedness like to plan ahead. And this is just another scenario, another possibility that we can plan on and be prepared for. It's not doomsday. April 2nd, 1963, Confederate capital of Richmond, Virginia, 5,000 people, mostly poor women, broke into shops and began seizing food. The Egyptian bread riots in 1977, in 2007 and 2008, there was a rise in global food prices that led to riots in several countries, and again in 2010 and 2011. Germany in 1922, Argentina in 2000, Venezuela in 2016. This has been the pattern whenever inflation has become systemic. Now, here are the questions that I need you to ask yourself. Whether you're a non-prepper or a prepper, these are some very important and very difficult questions. And you can answer them now, but you may answer them differently when you haven't eaten in 3 days and you're watching your kids go hungry. Do you have a stockpile of food for your family? A 2-month pantry, a 6-month pantry, a year of food? Do you have weapons and a plan to defend your home and your food stockpile? Do you know how to grow your own food? Do you have seeds? Are you ready and able to turn away your neighbors, your extended family, your friends, those that know that you're a prepper or know that you're preparing or know that you have extra food? Are you ready to look them in the eye and tell them no? And perhaps the most important question is, are you ready for those people to come back and take it from you? If this video has got you thinking that it is time to start preparing, or it is time to up your game if you're already a prepper and make another grocery run and get that pantry built up, we're going to leave some links down in the description for you guys to go to that will be a resource for you to get you going. We really appreciate you guys watching this. Please do not leave without leaving us a comment, okay? Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you thought about this. Give me your thoughts. I want to know what you're thinking. If you enjoyed today's content, give us a thumbs up. If you want more content like this, we do prepping, preparedness, EDC, gear reviews. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for weekly videos. SafePrep helps families prepare. Find us on Facebook and Instagram. It's so much easier there to have conversations with you and get to know you. We are a community and we're building a community, and we want you to be part of it. Until next time, folks, I'm Justin. Be safe.